So a couple years ago, I saw a quote online, and it had to do about the people that like read books and they make really deep and meaningful connections with the characters, even though like they don't actually exist. And the quote says that even though the characters aren't real, the connections you make with the characters are. And this is a pretty simple idea, but I tend to agree with it, and I think that it can also be applied to TV shows, movies, and even video games. So this idea of having connections with fictional characters relates to my topic, where I believe that watching TV shows and playing video games should be done with others instead of alone. And I do have to admit that I've done my fair share of binge watching and gaming by myself, but I also have done a lot of it with others, and that's because of my family tradition. My family tradition is a couple days a week, my family will sit down together and watch an episode or two of our latest TV series. And having this tradition for years has really shown me the benefits you get from spending this time with others. The benefits range from creating connections with each other, making memories, and it can even make long distances seem small. And I would like to show you some examples of how these benefited my family. So the most common benefit my family experiences from this is the connections. Every show we watch, it is like we experience a new world or go through a new adventure together. And similar to what the quote said, these worlds and these adventures aren't real, but the connections we make with the world and the connections we make with each other are real. And these connections are really important to my family, and we've become aware of this in the recent years. So we're really reliant on it, so reliant that when my stepdad recently married into our family, we made it a top priority to make sure we rewatch our favorite shows so he could be included in the connections. Like, for example, before I left to come here, we had just finished watching my favorite TV show, Lost, and that helped cemented his place within our family. So TV shows aren't the only kind of media that have helped my family bond. My family and I have also made connections and memories through video games. And one example is that back home I play a lot of video games with my brother, and it was one of the main ways we connect. And I'm not bringing this up to talk about the past connections we've made, but to bring up the fact that we're still making connections now, even though we're 1,000 miles apart. Me and my brother and I, we're able to go through these connections and go through these experiences, even though we're not even in the same state, because we play video games together. And this is an example of how watching TV shows and playing video games together can make the long distances seem insignificant. So to summarize, my family and I create many different connections and memories together, near and afar, all because we watch TV shows and play video games together. This is why I believe it is most beneficial for everyone to try to spend this time watching TV shows and playing video games together instead of spending it alone. And I hope from showing you examples of how my family has benefited from this, you'll all be more likely to consider spending this time with others. Thank you.